Hi, everyone, and welcome to this three-part series where I myself, Naz Fredericks, the Portfolio Director for WomenIn, am going to be chatting to the co-founder of Hello Health, Tarren Benson. This three-part series is going to unpack radiant wellness, empowering women from the inside out. In this three-part series, we will explore gut health, how you can best nourish your gut, as well as care for your skin, which can lead to a life of vitality and empowerment. With insights from our Hello Health guru, a brand dedicated to holistic supplements, and the mission of Woman In, this series emphasizes the importance of inner wellness for women striving to excel in both personal and professional spheres. Hi, Taryn, and welcome.
Hey Naz, thank you so much for having me.
It's awesome for you to join us today, and thank you for making the time. I'm looking forward to actually unpacking the series with you. Hey, Taryn.
Yeah, I must be honest, when you gave us the call to say we wanted to go down this path, I was really excited because this is honestly one of my favorite things to talk about. I cannot go on enough about it. And in fact, I think people get annoyed when I go, hey, do you want to talk about gut health today?
But as you say that, I think speaking about gut health and the connection between gut health, skin health, mental health, and your general well-being is definitely on the rise, and it really is topical at the moment. And I think it's something that we need to explore in greater depth.
Yeah, I think for all too long that we have been living in this idea where our health and our gut and our skin and our moods and everything lives in silos. However, everything is so intricately wound that if we neglect the one, the rest kind of falls apart. And as one of my favorites of all the old Stoics said, Hippocrates, all disease starts in the gut. So if we don't address the gut first, everything else just kind of falls to pieces.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's get into episode one, where we will explore the gut brain connection, unlocking the key to women's empowerment. So, Taryn, let's dive into the fascinating relationship between the gut and brain, known as the gut brain connection. We will discuss how this connection is crucial not just for your physical health, but also for your mental and emotional well being, which are essential for women looking to lead with confidence. Drawing on your expert knowledge, Taryn, in gut health supplements through your amazing and very impactful brand, Hello Health, this conversation between you and I will highlight prioritizing gut wellness and how it can empower women to break barriers and thrive. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. I was born ready.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And it's Women's Month. We are here to celebrate each other, and you know what? We're here to inspire. So
Yeah.
let's get straight into the questions. Taryn, can you explain the gut brain connection and its relevance to overall well being?
You know what, Naz, that is a fantastic question. And funny enough, up until recently, a lot of people didn't realize that there was this connection between the gut and the brain, including scientists. They believed for the longest time that because of the blood-brain barrier, so this is a protective barrier around the brain, that it was impermeable, meaning that nothing could transport through it. Obviously, this is important because we have to keep our brains healthy and free from infection. So if you stub your toe and it gets a little infected, we want to make sure that those pathogens don't reach your brain so that you live. However, in recent studies, in as little as a decade, they have worked out that there is a communication that happens between the brain and the gut. So, to just go back a little step, we have to understand the landscape of what we're working with. So, when we talk about our central nervous system, that is your brain and your spinal cord. Then we have our enteric nervous system, which is your digestive system, which starts from your esophagus all the way down to your rectum. These are both covered in neurons, and neurons are now these little pathways where they talk to each other. So, to give you an idea, our brain has 86 billion neurons that have mapped all over, helping us think, create, breathe, grow. Our stomach and digestive area has got 500 million neurons. So, yes, it's a fraction in comparison. However, the cat, the brain of the cat, only has 100 million neurons. So, this is why our gut has been called the second brain.
Ah,
So what's important about that is there's one main nerve. So there's hundreds of nerves that go up and down, but the main nerve is the vagus nerve, which goes from the base of the brain right down into the gut. This is a bi-directional communication system. So it is sending messages from your gut to your brain, from your brain to your gut. And it's like a supercharged highway.
wow.
So if you you think back to everything that we talk about. We normally, when it comes to emotions, it's got something to do with the gut. So we'll go like, oh, I have a gut feeling about something.
True story.
Yeah, I have butterflies in my stomach.
Mhm.
I feel gut wrenched. It was a punch to the gut. So all of these big emotions generally have some sort of link to the gut, and we kind of instinctually, maybe gut feeling, know that there is this link that happens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, without getting a little bit too scientific, the reason why that this is important is that your gut is home to trillions of microbiomes. So now these microbiomes living their best lives, they're thriving, they're feeding off of all the food that you put into it, and they're constantly sending these neurotransmitters up this vagus nerve. So when your microbiome is flourishing and it's balanced and it's happy, it sends an increase of things like serotonin
Yeah.
and GABA. These are two really important neurotransmitters. So serotonin, obviously your happy hormone, makes you feel happy, it makes you feel positive, it makes you feel action oriented. GABA, this is super important for memory. So, what
Hmm.
this neurotransmitter does is it makes you have this synaptic plasticity, which essentially creates your ability to remember things.
Yeah.
So, what a lot of people don't know is 90% of your serotonin is produced into your gut. So, people think like I think myself happy when in fact actually your gut makes you think yourself happy. So if that is out of balance, it then decreases our serotonin and our ability to store memory and retain memory. So
Okay.
often when people say that they've had a lot of sugar or
Mm.
if they've been eating badly, they comment of things about poor sleep,
Yeah.
brain fog, and memory loss. So this is all linked to that GABA connection.
Hmm.
So really important to keep our gut in that healthy ecosystem. Then,
Hmm.
conversely, when our gut is not balanced, it goes through a space called dysbiosis. So, when your gut is in a feeling of dysbiosis, meaning it doesn't have enough of your lactobacillus or your bifidobacterium, which are your key microbiomes within the gut,
Hmm.
there, you have a high propensity for obesity, type
Wow.
2 diabetes, and certain cancers. So
Wow.
it's like we don't we don't really think about like it's not just about monitoring food to put into your body to
Yeah.
make you look a certain way. It's actually just your overall holistic health. When you're not focusing on what is going into your gut, it's
Yeah.
all of these little ripple effects that will affect you down the chain. So the
Yeah.
gut brain connection really important. And the more we understand it, the better equipped we are to deal with more than just looking good.
Yeah, I speak from a personal note, hearing you and understanding what you're saying. Like, I find that when I wake up early, I hit the gym and I'm eating clean, I've got the most energy, I'm radiant, and my overall well-being and everything around me is just it's more positive, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
everything just seems to be going well. And I also find that I can navigate through the stresses and the challenges of life a lot more easier, and it makes it a lot
absolutely.
more easier. And that just goes back to the gut brain connection, like you just mentioned, eating
Yeah,
healthy, what goes into your gut, because your gut's also known as your second brain. It will also release all of these good endorphins and increase all of that, those positive serotonin levels you mentioned. Is
yes, yes,
serotonin also is serotonin also
yeah,
known as the happy drug, or the happy hormone?
hormone.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes, the
yeah,
happy hormone.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay, so I'm just gonna be a disclaimer here. I'm no guru like
yeah.
Tarren, but I have been doing my research as well. Around
You're doing good,
especially
Naz.
when okay, awesome. Like, especially when I started having the chat with you ladies about my personal health journey, and like how I've sort of changed my lifestyle. And it's not just like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy today, I'm going to go on a diet
Mm,
or what have you. I'm actually focused on being the best version of me, and this is my journey. So yeah, I'm
100%,
making
Naz.
it a lifestyle. So
Yeah,
everything you're saying,
great.
I think everything's in moderation, but let's make it a
Yeah.
lifestyle. Let's dive a little bit more into making the correlation between the gut brain connection, but then also understanding this connection and how it will empower women in their personal and professional lives.
So I think one of the biggest things what we need to realize is that one, stress obviously is a huge component of our lives. We cannot get away from it, especially as women in high pressured and possibly male dominated situations. You're going to have that bigger level of stress and pressure, not to
Yeah.
add to the fact that you probably also are a mom,
Hmm.
probably also a wife, which means adding to that big plate of work responsibilities, you've also got personal responsibilities. So, one thing that is really important to note is that stress in the body is kind of like, again, it's the chicken and the egg situation. So,
Yeah.
when your gut is not balanced and your microbiome isn't flourishing, what will also happen with this dysbiosis is it'll send up a trigger up to the brain and inflammation because it is not
Yeah.
in a healthy state. The inflammation then triggers your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus then triggers your pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland then triggers your adrenal glands, which are above your
Wow.
kidneys. And then that will trigger the cortisol and the adrenaline effect. So,
Ah,
creating
okay.
more stress in the body. So, more feelings of anxiety, more feelings of overwhelm. Then obviously
Mm,
also with day-to-day pressures, you're going to have that same triggered response in your brain as well. So you are releasing more stress. So you're overloading your body with all this additional stress that is unnecessary. When you could one part of the puzzle, which you be doing, is taking care of your gut health, taking care of what you put inside your body, which will help
mhm.
lower those feelings of anxiety and stress. So
Okay.
also, you've got big presentations coming up. You just have big deadlines coming up. If you're not feeding yourself with the right stuff,
Mhm.
your obviously your microbiota again, they're not balanced. It's not releasing the serotonin. It's not giving you that feeling of positivity and hope. You start
Yeah.
feeling a little bit more desperate, start feeling a little bit more overwhelmed by things.
Mhm.
So having this link in your professional life is possibly the most important place to acknowledge it, because without that, nothing else feels possible. Everything else feels overwhelming, and you don't have that space to have this never-ending to-do list without the courage and the strength to tackle it.
Mhm. Taryn, so does that also explain, like before we get into, what sort of foods we should be eating and,
Mm.
unpacking the amazingness, the amazing inside out glow of the Hello Health supplements, does that also explain, like I'm gymming, I'm working out, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the hardest place to lose weight or fat is around the abdomen and the
yep,
lower abdomen to be precise.
yep,
And I find when I'm in these highly stressed environments, or it's where it's like you're surviving on like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and coupled with the daily personal challenges that you're going through, and then you've got life, you've got work, you've got deadlines coming up, lack of sleep, you reach for the first thing to eat. Sometimes it's even healthy, it's a healthy
yep,
bar that you're eating, but and you're still working out, you're finding the time to work out,
yeah,
but
yep,
that space, that part of the abdomen, still difficult to lose. Why would you say? Is
yeah,
that because of the rising cortisol levels that affects the gut, that then affects your overall well-being, and then your weight loss journey, and
yep.
and, and so forth?
100%. So, what happens when you have too much cortisol in your body? It releases more inflammation. When you have more inflammation, it creates a space more for disease. When your
Ah,
gut isn't in a space of homeostasis, it's not able to adequately break down the food and the nutrients and get it and work hard enough for you. So, it's one of those where when someone says, "Oh, just don't stress," and you're like, "Oh, thanks for that top tip." But again, it is unfortunately one of the most important things when it comes to gut health and overall even weight loss is getting your
yeah,
stress under control.
yeah,
But on the side note of that is that they did a study where they found that stress in human beings is vital. We cannot
yeah,
live without stress
yeah,
because we need that little release of the noradrenaline and the adrenaline to give us a bias for action, because then it gives you that sort of that motivation to drive forward. But
yeah,
what the bad part of stress is, it's the perception towards stress. So it's when the stress
yeah.
becomes so overwhelming that you're no longer seeing that it's driving you towards something and it's overwhelming you. And that's when the stress starts
Mm,
releasing the inflammation and the negative side effects of cortisol. So it's we'll never get away from stress in its entirety. It's
okay.
virtually impossible, especially in this day and age. But it's finding ways to then
Yeah.
manage your stress. So it's, am I mindfully
Mm,
eating? So I mean, it's we're so busy all
yeah.
the time. When we're eating, we're kind of just rushing behind our desks, funneling all that food
Yeah.
into our face. But is it maybe taking
Mhm.
that moment taking a break from your computer, sitting in a
Yeah.
quiet area, and actually chewing your food properly, chewing it mindfully, tasting the food. Maybe it's going for a walk
Yeah.
in the garden,
Yeah.
deep breathing, taking those quiet moments throughout the day to bring that level of homeostasis
Yeah.
back into your body. So it becomes a manageable amount of stress.
I completely agree with that. I always try, like, I agree, like we sit, we eat, and then like, oh, it's lunchtime, we eat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to eat, we need to have something for lunch. Or someone will walk up and say, hey, I've seen you behind your desk. Can I get you something for lunch? They get it for you, but you eating that, you actually forgot that, hey, I did eat. And then you just start munching away.
Yeah,
And I agree. Like taking that time, you might think, "Oh, I don't have 5 minutes. I'm pressed for time." Taking 5 minutes of your time and just walking away, being mindful and being conscious about what you are eating, being in that moment, can also recharge and rejuvenate you. And then you come back
absolutely.
and you find that your productivity just increases a little. It
Yeah,
increases that. And then coming back to stress, like you say, rightfully so,
yeah,
we're never going to be away from stress, but it's finding that balance and how we can actually navigate and manage our stresses that is quite
yeah.
important. Now, before we get into the wonderful hello health supplements, this is something that I actually learned, and I learned it from my husband actually. He had a problem with his gut and stomach lining, and in his water he actually takes glutamine. And I was
Mm.
someone, because I'm like, what, 6 years his junior. um I was like, oh, you take all these vitamins, and why do you need to take a probiotic? Because as women, usually, when you get like a UTI or so forth,
Yeah,
and you have to take medication, that's when we want to reach for our probiotic, or that's when we want to, up our yogurt intake because it's got probiotics in it. But he
yeah,
actually taught me, he's like, no, like, take a probiotic every morning. And I started incorporating this. Like, literally, I open my eyes, and the first thing I do is I take a probiotic with some water. And I've seen how that actually improves my gut. And because my gut
yeah.
is improved, everything else is improved. So let us talk through and get into the Hello Health supplements. And how the Hello Health supplements. And I know that you and your partner in business, Tegan, you came up with a very unique probiotic geared towards females. So, like,
Yes.
talk us through how Hello Health and your supplements are playing a crucial and vital part in supporting a healthy gut brain connection.
Naz, I think when we first started developing our products, the first thing that we said, we were like, we need to come up with really great probiotics that help women specifically. Because
Yeah.
number one, I think we've all been through that pain where you get put on an antibiotic and you don't get given the probiotic to go with it. And then you're the one who's suffering for days on end. And it's a little private shame that you have to go through. And funny enough, on that note, there was a study that was done where it showed that up to 50 to 60% of women have shame and embarrassment around what they deem as vaginal freshness. So linking directly to UTIs and thrush. So it's like this common problem that women experience and that we're just too embarrassed to talk about. And we all have this shared experience. So we wanted to
Yeah.
formulate a product that was specifically geared to this exact problem. So we put together a blend of non-probiotic strains
Mhm.
with an additional cranberry extract. And what these do is one, the cranberry extract prevents and treats recurring UTIs. So the active compound in the cranberry, what it does is it prevents any E. coli from adhering to the walls of the urinary tract to travel up into the kidneys. And super powerful little guys. And then the 9 strains that we blend together essentially create lactic acid in your vagina so that it
Mhm.
creates the environment that is a perfect pH to prevent any of the pathogens and the bacteria from breeding and growing. So with that, obviously comes then the microbiome of the vaginal and the gut tract being in symbiosis. And that way you are experiencing all of the benefits of having all the flora and fauna breeding as it should. So yeah, it's really is a fantastic little product.
So that explains why my mom always used to say when I was a teenager and I used to get UTIs, she's like,
Yeah,
"Drink your cranberry juice." Now I understand why. I used to just drink it because
exactly.
mom said, "Drink it. It's
Yeah,
good for you. As women, you need to have
yeah,
cranberry
yeah,
juice." And we always had cranberry juice in the fridge. So that explains it. And it's quite insightful to hear how everything sort of linked together. Now, there's something that Hello Health supplies, and you actually produce your own, which is very
yeah,
unique, and it's something that you actually give to all of our women in attendees. And everybody's been raving about it. I mean, women are going for microneedling to increase this in your
yeah,
skin. Women are taking supplements. Women are they age they're looking at the age and they're looking at the clock like when can I start taking this? And
yeah,
I'm talking about the product that everybody's talking about, and over the years, and I think it was the time when we were all locked away. We will not go into that time of history,
the dark
but
days.
when the dark days, yes, exactly. But we actually focused on self-care, and I think this is when this product really started making headway, and everybody was talking about it. And now you see so many brands coming on the market with it. It's none other than collagen. The
Yeah.
thing that we all need to keep our ligaments, our bones, our skin, everything, going and healthy. And yeah, talk us through, the Hello Health collagen product, and how that is beneficial for you as a woman, as well as in general, because I think you have both one geared for females, and then you've also got one
Yeah.
geared for males, and then you have a pretty generic one, right?
Yes, exactly. No, you're right there, Naz. So again, one of the key issues that I've experienced myself is like I have a bedside drawer that I open and it's got like 10 to 15 different supplement bottles in there that I have. I take this one for that effect. I take that one, and I take that one, and this is the objective that I'm trying to meet. And one, it gets really expensive, you're going to cut back on the luxuries, but the first thing that you cut back on is your health supplements when it should be the last,
Yeah.
but that is life. So we were like, we want to really create a product that speaks to the specific need. So we drilled down and we're like, okay, so what are the experiences of women that they have, men, and then just a general issue that people have. So our women's one, which is one of my favorite products as well, is so we took our pure hydrolyzed type 1 and 3 collagen, which is specifically geared towards your skin, your hair, your nails, your joints, and your tendons. So
Okay.
beautiful, like all body effects. And we decided, what can we boost this with to treat the one thing that all women are really passionate about, and that is their skincare? How do I
Yeah.
prevent the grandfather clock from appearing on our faces? So we went and did a bit of research and we found that there were some key ingredients to take care of these issues. So one being vitamin C. So we've
Hmm.
added in about 50% of your RDA within the vitamin C and within your one scoop. And why this is important is for two reasons when it comes to skin health. Is one, it is essential for collagen synthesis. So in order for
Yeah.
your body to take the collagen that it's receiving and to regenerate it and to plump your skin and give that elasticity, it needs vitamin C. So that reaction works obviously insanely well together. Then we included another molecule called hyaluronic acid. So everyone has heard about hyaluronic acid. They
Yeah.
generally hear it in the form of the filler, where you're injecting it into your part of your face for the plumper, or if you are applying it topically on your skin
Yeah.
to get that youthful glow. So what a lot of people don't realize is that the hyaluronic acid molecule actually binds to water around itself, and it plumps up to 10 times its own size. So that's how it gives that youthful, plump appearance. So what this will do when it goes into the body, it will travel to your joints and then to your skin, anywhere where there's a lot of moisture, and it will plump it from the inside out, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. And also, it is has been known for vitality and longevity. So that's the second powerful ingredient. Then we added in biotin, where
Okay.
biotin is not necessarily a new vitamin. Most
Yeah.
people have heard of biotin for your hair and nail growth. I don't know if you were ever put on this as a child, but Bob Martens, the dog tablets, high in
You know, I,
biotin,
I'm
make your hair
quite
grow like
short.
weeds.
Yeah, I'm quite short, and my brother always used to say you never took your Bob Martens when you were a kid.
Yes, exactly.
as I grew older and I started working and stuff, my mom's like, "You need to get your biotin supplements, strong nails,
Yes,
hair, this, that." So
yes,
I'm quite pleased to hear that this supplement and this collagen supplement actually has biotin in it, as
yes,
well as vitamin C, because I also did quite a bit of research when I used to take collagen, and I was like, you actually need vitamin C to
yeah,
absorb the collagen, so that you basically you optimizing the results of the collagen, and then
exactly.
you know as you go on, even with so I have a deficiency. I've got quite a few vitamin deficiencies, and when I take my calciferol, I actually make sure that I take it with a vitamin C tablet or an
Exactly.
effervescent, because then the calciferol will basically absorb a lot faster and optimally. So vitamin C is
Yes.
very important, and I think people
Yeah.
only think about vitamin C when it's winter and they want to avoid the flu or they want
Yeah.
to boost their immune system. But I think as an all-round vitamin, it's very important.
Yeah. It's 100%. It's really, it's because it's water soluble as well, which means it doesn't stay in your tissues. It passes out with your urine. So you have to be taking it regularly in order to make sure you get the best results. So a lot of people will be like, oh, I'll just take a couple of capsules and
Yep.
then I'm fine. And then they wonder why they're not feeling great. It's because it is one of those that you need to be taking, especially because it's really difficult in your food intake to be able to get those levels every
Yeah.
single day. So having something with an additional vitamin C in it just gets you halfway there. Now you have a couple of oranges and then you bump your ankle. You've hit your allowance that you need for the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it is really crucial. It's a great vitamin.
Yeah. So not just
Uh,
during winter,
no,
time,
not
all the
just
time.
during winter. And also what people don't know about vitamin C is so a lot of the time it's like vitamin C has made quite a big comeback in terms of your serums on your face
Yeah.
and for brightening and even tone. So it also works orally as well, where it inhibits the melanin overproduction, so that it
Ah.
does help with the even tone and the smoothing out skin and dark spots. So it is a wonder little vitamin.
Yeah. So, I mean, besides putting it on, putting it on your skin as a serum, as a vitamin C serum, which is
Yeah,
basically going to help with your pigmentation, which I know a lot of women suffer
yeah,
with. You want to start
exactly.
from inside out, right? So you definitely want to get that glow
Absolutely.
from inside. So it is true. Let's glow from inside
Yeah,
out.
100%. Because you can have all the lotions and potions in the world, but if you don't have a good base to start with, then it's kind of, you should flush your money down the toilet, essentially.
True story. True story. So,
Yeah.
Taryn, I know we touched on quite a few of the supplements geared towards women, but can you touch a little bit on the supplements geared towards men?
Yes, absolutely, I can. So, we got asked the question when we started this business, like, why? How are two girls talking about supplements for men? And it was quite easy because we all have men in our lives.
Yeah.
We both have partners in our lives. We've had fathers and whatnot, and we've got male friends. So we see the effects of what good supplementation and a good healthy living can look like for a man. So when we went down the path to decide how we're going to make people, because at the end of the day, our mission is simple. We want to make everybody feel healthy and happy by addressing the core concern that they have. So when we looked at men, we saw that there is a startling amount of men who are suffering from low testosterone. So there was a study that I read recently where it said men who are approaching 45 years, about 50% of those men are suffering from low testosterone, which is alarming. Testosterone is such a key hormone for men. And when that starts to dip, pretty much most of their health aspects start to dip as well. So we went through the process of, okay, so men also don't want to take thousands of supplements. Just to get my boyfriend to take his probiotic every day is a bit of a mission. I have to put it next to a treat. So it almost becomes like um, a reward system. So how do we create supplements where it's taking care of these issues in one scoop or two capsules? So we have our ultimate performance, strength, stamina, and endurance capsules. What this is a completely natural herbal blend geared towards boosting men's testosterone naturally. So we went through a bit of research and we referenced and looked into some of the studies done by Andrew Huberman, who
Hmm.
is basically like the biohacking genius. And he had made mention of a shrub called Fedosia, Tonkat Ali, ashwagandha,
Yeah.
fenugreek. So we went and did a bit of research. We contacted our lab and we said, right, these are the ingredients that we think will be interesting. Let's make a supplement out of it. And we went through some so obviously a lot of research and development, and we came up with this beautiful capsule. It also has L-arginine in it, and now what
Wow.
L-arginine is important for is for blood flow. So it increases
Mm,
the nitric oxide in the body. So this is going to help men with athletic performance and their overall male sexual health. So helping them with their libido, with their erections, and just general testosterone effects around the body. So we were very excited when we launched that product. We've been receiving such great reviews from the men who have been taking it. Just to hear men say things like, I have all this energy throughout the day without the jitters like I do when I drink
sure.
coffee. I'm going
Yeah.
to the gym and I have the energy to lift the weights that I want to do. So it really is encouraging to hear men like really feeling the full body effect of just taking the right supplementation
Mm,
to help them.
yeah.
Then we also have a collagen specifically geared to men, and that has also been boosted with tribulus and ashwagandha. So ashwagandha, I had made mention of it in the
Hmm.
previous supplement. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. So what that means is that it helps your body adapt to stress, so
Yeah.
reducing your cortisol levels. So men are affected by stress just as we are. Who would have thought? And at the moment that cortisol levels rise too high in their bodies, the first thing to go is their testosterone, which
Yeah.
is a vital hormone for them. It absolutely needs to stay at the optimal levels. So we've incorporated ashwagandha into this product so that we could help naturally lower cortisol levels, and then throw in the tribulus, which is also a plant that has been revered for its male sexual health benefits. So boosting testosterone, athletic performance, cognitive function, energy, and libido enhancing as well. So then obviously men get the benefits of collagen by making sure that their hair and skin and nails are looking great. Obviously men also worry about receding hairlines and thinning
Yeah.
hair at the crown. So adding the collagen into this will help them with those kind of frustrating and I guess also alienating problems that they go through.
True, true. I like that both the supplements for men actually have a common vitamin in there, which is it a vitamin or is it just a supplement?
It's a herb.
Ashwagandha.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a herb
herb. Yeah,
extract.
ashwagandha. Yeah, so ashwagandha,
Yeah.
and there's another one that's also trending at the moment. And my husband always says he's like, I've been taking all of these supplements, because I believe in Ayurvedic medicine. And for
Yeah.
years, his parents, and if I look at my in laws, they look phenomenal for their ages. And
Yep.
they've been taking ashwagandha and turmeric religiously. And
Yeah.
I know my husband comes from Indian descent and Indian culture, so they take it like he takes his ashwagandha and his turmeric, as a supplement. But also,
Yeah.
when we cook at home, we cook with a lot of spices and a lot of turmeric because of the
Yeah.
benefits of these herbs. So
Absolutely.
I like that there's ashwagandha, and then when I find my stress levels peaking, I rather reach for additional ashwagandha tablets, which will help me also
100%.
navigate and keep my stress levels somewhat at bay. So
Yeah.
I'm quite excited to hear that both the supplements have
Yeah.
ashwagandha in there. Now, Taryn, we have already surpassed our first episode and our first overarching topic, which is the gut-brain connection, unlocking the key to women's empowerment. Um, I don't know about you, but I think that was a pretty interesting first session.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you'll have to stop me from talking about the gut brain connection. I can go on about it. Welcome to my TED talk. I'll stand here for hours. But thank you. Yeah, it was a
Awesome. So I think I think let us pause it for there, and I guess our audience will have to come back as we unpack episode 2, which is essentially gut health in the workplace, science and solutions for women and female professionals to navigate their stresses and challenges as we navigate life. So I'm excited to unpack this topic with you.
amazing. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Great stuff. Thanks,
Okay.
Taryn.
Bye.